I've been impressed the first couple weeks by every quarterback in Miami's quarterback rotation, but don't take my word for it. Let's talk to a former Miami Hurricane starting QB.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Truth Teller Tuesday. I'm Alex Donno, your host, University of Miami alumnus, longtime South Florida sports radio vet, and writer for allhurricanes.com. Thank you to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen and your first watch. We're free on YouTube. We're free wherever you get your podcasts, and we're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. New customers, join today and you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. So got a lot to talk about with the running back room, with Henry Parrish leaving, with the quarterback room, Cam Ward, Reese Poffenbarger. The newcomers are both performing well. As mentioned, it is a Truth Teller Tuesday, and we have the Truth Teller himself with us. Bruce Warner, how you doing, sir?
In the courtroom, no less.
Which is your element, because you are a lawyer. So I feel like you're going to be on your game even more than usual today.
I will absolutely have to be. But you know what? Today we're bringing – it's the off season. So I like bringing on a lot of my friends, the former players. So today I'm bringing in one of the nicest people who have ever been on our show. Forgetting about the football prowess, he's one of the nicest people. We love having him on the show. We're bringing him back to talk about what's going on down there. Of course, the quarterbacks. It's my buddy Jacory Harris. Welcome back to the show. Everybody loves you, Jacory. You know that.
How y'all doing, man?
We're doing
Welcome
good.
Back.
Welcome back.
See ya.
I love you guys too, man. It goes both ways.
Yeah, and Jacory's a real hero, by the way. Firefighter, he's saving lives. So talking to us is no big deal. And I saw you, Jacory, a couple weeks ago at one of the first spring practices, and I know you were taking in Cam Ward, Reese Poffenbarger, Jacurri Brown, Emory Williams, Judd Anderson. You were watching all the quarterbacks. Let's start with Cam Ward. To your trained eye, what stands out most about the guy who's going to be Miami's starting quarterback this year?
Like I like to, preface everything with I don't want to get everybody too hyped. I always say that, but the thing that stands out about the guy is just him being poised. Him coming into a new program and being able to walk on the field first day of practice when I saw him, and kind of, you could tell that he's already gelled and created relationships and bonds with the guys. So to see that at such an early stage, and then for day one to go as smoothly as it did, it shows you a lot about him as a person and him as a leader, and what we got to look forward for the new season.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I didn't even think about it till this split second. You mentioned that. It looks as if, and it seems as if he has respect of his teammates already. And yet Alex and I talked all during the season, and you observed that it didn't seem like Van Dyke had the respect of his own teammates, let alone the fans who really didn't respect him. That's amazing that he's done that. Yeah,
it is amazing. He's a guy that has he has the resume to back up everything that that the hype has come to him, and he has the resume for it. And I would never speak ill about any past quarterbacks or anything like that, but Tyler, he did what he could do. He played his best ball. He had his ups, he had his downs, and unfortunately things didn't work out the way, and we wish him nothing but the best at Wisconsin.
He's in Wisconsin.
But Cam is from what we're seeing, he's a different breed, and he's already been well established as a quarterback, and not, we've had guys that come in that been runners that can throw the ball, been pretty okay, but Cam is a true quarterback, and that's what I love and appreciate about his game. He can make the plays, he can make the throws, and he's a playmaker, so he's gonna be good.
I saw film of him. I really didn't see him play at Washington State. They were very rarely on television. They played Oregon and Washington. I saw those.
That's the East Coast bias everyone talks about.
I know.
You know what I noticed about it, Jacory? They talk about in the pocket, his pocket presence. He reminded me so much of Devin Hester when he was almost tackled, should have been tackled, and this kid was the escapability of him out of that pocket, like he had eyes in the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and then I'm thinking, what about our wide receivers? They're going to have their heads like this all the time, because when they don't get the ball on after 2 or 3 seconds, they better start looking around, because this kid escapes. He's a magician back there.
Yeah, that's the job of the receivers. They're supposed to get open. That's their job. You don't worry about when the ball is thrown and how it's going to be thrown to you. Just get open. And Cam he does look like a magician on film. And that's something that you can love and appreciate about his game, because not too many guys have that ability. But you are starting to see it more and more in college football and those guys getting drafted to the NFL. Because back in the days, you just have a pocket quarterback, and that's what guys wanted. The NFL didn't want guys that can scramble or move around. They just wanted pocket quarterbacks. And you had your rare specimens like Michael Vick, or your Vince Youngs or people like that were rare specimens. But Cam is Cam. He's a nice kid. That's what I love the most about him, because that's gonna carry you a lot further in life than then it gets you further in life than being an asshole or something like that.
We're joined here by former Miami Hurricanes starting quarterback Jacory Harris. What stood out to you among the other guys? Like I mentioned it on the air earlier today that I thought Reese Poffenbarger probably had his best practice, at least from what I've seen so far as a Miami Hurricane. I've seen some really good stuff in certain practices from Jacurri Brown, Emory Williams. I like what the young guy Judd Anderson brings to the table. He's going to, take more time in seasoning, obviously. But what do you take from the rest of the quarterback room so far?
So, made a statement on Twitter and said, I think that this is the best quarterback room in the country. And I stand by that. I wish I could have went back out to practice today. That was my goal, but unfortunately I had some other things to do. But watching those guys, yeah, Cam is going to be your guy. To be honest, it's almost like the NFL now. In college, there's really no competition. You bring this guy in, and you're paying him whatever you're paying him for a reason. You're not paying him to sit on the bench. But then, the guys that fall in line behind him, I don't know who's going to be number 2, but Jacurri has looked amazing. Not saying compared to last year, but you could tell that he's worked in the offseason and made strides. Just watching him deliver the ball and throw the ball, to me, Jacurri is the most talented quarterback on that roster. By far, he's the most talented guy. Best quarterback is Cam Ward. But Reese, that's the guy who's, I guess a little bit under the radar only because of the school he went to.
Right.
If he played anywhere else, I think if he had the opportunity to play anywhere else last year and then can't transfer here to Miami, people will be looking at him in a lot different light, because watching that kid and seeing how athletic he is, he truly did surprise me. And then, Emory Williams, he had the opportunity to play last year. I don't think they opened up the offense enough for him to really show his talent and spread the ball around. But you can still see some of the different things, that he provides for this team. And then Judd Anderson, when you see him, that's a huge kid. He remind me of one of the guys that was a backup quarterback with me, Taylor Cook, back in the day.
I remember him.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor Cook was 6'7". Those the guys, those the Brock Osweilers. They got the big arm, and he's a freshman, so he's gonna have to wait in line. But I hope these guys stick around and fight through it, so Miami don't have to go in the transfer portal to go get quarterbacks, because we got a good group of guys right here.
Yeah, and I think that I'm guessing that Emory Williams is going to redshirt if Jacurri Brown decides to transfer out. Then I think they can't redshirt Emory Williams. So I think that's what their plan is, but nobody knows what Jacori's plan is, because if he knows he's not going to start and then he's not the backup quarterback, why would he want to stay here? I think he stayed here to see what would happen, and I believe at the time he decided, we hadn't gotten Ward yet.
Yeah,
we may or may have not gotten Poffenbarger, but we didn't have Ward yet. So he was.
Yeah, I don't think we got anybody at that time. At that time, I don't think we had anyone. He made a decision.
Not in either one of the two, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he made a decision, and not to say he wouldn't have made the same decision if he knew that Cam was coming tonight. Jacurri seems like he's a competitor.
Right.
And he has faith in himself, and I'm actually happy that the kid stuck around this program and showed this much love to the University of Miami, because some people haven't shown him the same amount of love, but it doesn't even matter. We're here to win games. Whether you get the love or not, you gotta win. And I wish all of the guys nothing but the best. I think we had a good group of guys, and it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, he had a pretty good bowl game, but he was missing half the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey.
Half the offensive line was gone. The safeties were gone. The D tackle was gone. I mean,
like I said, he is the most talented guy
by
most
far.
talented quarterback on the roster.
Yeah, he is. Got the biggest upside too, I think.
We have a lot still to talk about with Jacory Harris here on this episode, and some not so good news and some potentially very good news at the running back position. I want to talk more about Miami's receivers as well. So, folks, you know what you want to do? You want to keep it locked right here. We are only getting started with Jacory Harris, the truth teller, and Donno on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. This week's March Madness bracket highlight is brought to you by our friends at Nissan. Each week, we're picking one team that stands out, a team that's pushed it further than the rest, just like any of the all-new 2024 Nissan SUVs. Guys, they spoil us so much with these SUVs. Nissan is awesome. These guys were able to take it to the next level. The Oregon Ducks are obviously this week's Nissan Rogue. The team absolutely surprised us all with a powerful performance, easy for me to say, in the Pac-12 tournament, punching their ticket to the big dance. They say win life, go Rogue. That's exactly what the Ducks have done here. Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. My friends, we are also brought to you by the awesome people at Amazon Fire TV. I've been using a Fire TV stick for the last couple of years. The Fire TV app is absolutely incredible. Guys, Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick you can plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournament, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us here at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels lets you dive into all the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports, March Madness, NBA, MLB, and lots more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, cooking videos as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me on this. To learn more, visit Amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. We got former Miami Hurricanes starting quarterback with the truth teller and I here on a new episode of Locked On Canes. So, guys, we found out this morning, on Tuesday morning, that Henry Parrish, who has rushed for, he's been Miami's most consistent running back the last couple of years. Mark Fletcher obviously became Miami's top running back last year. Henry Parrish has been a staple in Miami's backfield the last 2 years. It's going to be a graduate transfer. He's decided to leave the program. He's going to transfer somewhere else. That's the not so good news.
He's going back to Mississippi.
Oh, they announced that already?
I know it. He's going.
Oh, you know it. Okay. Okay. But by the way, hey, a sidebar for a second. Jacory, I brought it up this morning when I did a practice reaction episode of the possibility of him going back to Ole Miss. Just a possibility. I can't think of an example, and I know this new transfer portal era is crazy, of a guy who starts his career at a school, leaves that school, and then ends up back at the original school. Has that ever happened?
Look, NIL and transfer portal, all this stuff is new to me, man. We didn't have this when I was there, so this wasn't even a thought. I'm pretty sure this has never happened.
Yeah, hey, Bruce, I don't think that's ever happened where, like, this guy starts his career at Ole Miss, comes to Miami. If he goes back to Ole Miss, that might be like the first time that's ever happened.
Well, you'll have to Google it, because it could have been, who knows, there's 50 states and God knows how many colleges. Whatever. That's where he's going. But the good news is, which you wanted to say, is that Fletcher's going to be back.
Yeah, thank God.
He's going
to be back before fall camp.
Before fall camp, he'd be ready, maybe even by July, because Mario said 2.5 months, which is not that far away. So June or July, and then I'm assuming they're going to take it easy with him, but he'll be ready for those Gators, which is all that matters. Get ready for those damn Gators.
Yeah, I mean, Jacory, well, what did you think of Fletcher's freshman season last year? Like, I knew because I watched him a little bit in high school, and I knew Miami was getting a great one and getting just a powerful running back who, didn't really have to kind of grow into his frame the way a lot of true freshmen did. But still, he ended up exceeding my expectations last year in his first year. How good do you think Mark Fletcher can be at Miami?
I think Mark Fletcher could be great. That kid there, the size that he has on him. When I first saw him, I did not think that he was a freshman at all.
Right.
He looked like a seasoned vet, like he was on his way to the NFL, and that's a good sign for that kid. The size he has here remind me of when I played Javaris James. Baby J was a big back that we had. Finesse, got the moves, got the power, but can also run and got the speed. So I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he comes back, full strength and is ready for the Florida Gators. And then behind him, you got
when I saw him on a picture.
Yeah,
he was down at what was that, Prime 112.
Prime
I thought
112.
it was Andre Johnson. He's huge.
Yeah.
He
is huge.
He's huge.
And that's another person. Andre Johnson been here since he was in high school. So he been the same size since he was in high school.
He has been. He's chiseled in grammar school, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask you a quick question before we move. Just quickly, you talked about the quarterbacks. People think arm strength, size, quickness, get out of the pocket. But one of the things that you can explain more than anybody is that when the snap is taken, the quickness with which you recognize what's going on is something that a lay person like me or Alex doesn't know. But that has to be, you've really got to know your stuff. And that may separate Jacory from Cam or maybe even Poffenbarger, because that's critical, right?
That is what separates you. I've had this argument with people. I used to, when I compete with guys at AUM, people used to always want, dang, boy, Jacory always come out on top. Because I'm going to tell you, like, I make sure I know, but between my ears, I know everything that I need to do. So I could get us in and out of the best situations. I'm quick to tell people I might not be the most talented quarterback when it comes to arm strength and everything. But when it came to, like, knowing my job and knowing how to get, especially when I was allowed the ability to do that with Jed Fish, it was proven. It was shown, like, hey, Jed got to the point to where he was just, hey, Jacory, you call the plays. You when I give you the formation, you put us in the right play. So you have to be that type of guy because you can only get so far with talent. Talent actually, when it comes to the arm strength, what people what I see with quarterbacks that got like those strong arms, they tend to let that dictate a lot of things with them, and then it puts them in off rhythm with the receivers because now they're like, okay, it's always like with guys like me, if they're even, he's leaving. That's when you're throwing the ball. But whereas a guy with arm strength, they want to see the guy get past, then they try to deliver the ball, and then now if you don't put it all the way out there, you got the DB that recovers and breaks up the play. Right. But now it looks like it's nobody's fault. But if you'd have delivered the ball on time, and you'd have been perfect. So as a quarterback, you just got to know.
And touch. You got to have touch.
Yeah, you got to have touch.
There under the ball.
Hey, you know what? Jacury, that's another thing I just seen with him, watching him. His touch on his deep passes, he throws a beautiful deep ball.
He does.
And it's beautiful. And I love to watch it. And, I get excited talking about this stuff. It makes me want to get back in. It makes me want to get into coaching so I could, get some of this stuff off my head. But, it's good to sit back also and watch.
I might be able to go down to the courthouse and get you registered as a 17-year-old.
Get him some eligibility. Let's do it.
Hey, man.
Some eligibility, some NIL, and let's rock and roll.
Hey, yeah, if you give me some NIL, then I come back. I will be back.
I got to give it to you? Okay.
So I got to ask you about this, Jacory. I saw you made an awesome appearance recently on the Momentum podcast, and I'm not exactly sure how this came up, but so the Florida Gators quarterback was talking a little trash to you about Miami, and I love how the Gators, listen, they're coming off a 5-7 season, and he's trash talking about Miami coming off a not so good season. Well, what the hell happened there?
You know, maybe he was caught up in the moment. Maybe he probably didn't even know who I was. But we were speaking. We were introduced to each other, by Brandon. But we were just speaking, and he decided to, when asked, he made the comment, and it was kind of, I was taken aback by it, but then I'm also like, okay, you're supposed to talk trash. You're supposed to say that. If you feel like you can back it up. So now it's on us as Miami Hurricanes. We got to go out there and show them what the hard work that we've put in, and all gas no brakes. Now with those type of things, those little, that little bit of fuel added to your fire, you should go out there and want to destroy this team.
What did he say? What did he
He was
say?
trash talking. He was trash talking. He was talking about how, hey, when I asked him about what it was, I was like, I say, you ready for the first game? I mean, I was like, are you ready? And he like, ready for what? And he was like, I was like, ready for University of Miami, the first game. And like, how I'm gonna be ready for somebody when there's trash like that? Like, but it was a small comment. It is what it is. I give the guy the benefit of the doubt. We out, we chilling. He probably don't even know he didn't know who I was probably. Um, so I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but he lost his running back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He lost Etienne. He lost Ricky Pearsall. He's got problems.
Is he starting this year?
Probably.
I think he's starting. Yeah.
I
Okay,
think so.
yeah, because I know they had got like the number one quarterback in the country or
Lagway.
something
Yeah.
like that.
I think Mertz will still start, but Lagway eventually in
Yeah.
the
Okay.
future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy.
It'd be even funnier if he wasn't starting.
Nah, yeah, that'd be unfortunate.
Oh man. Now, I want to talk more about Miami's receiving core, and also just, you talk about maximizing the full potential of Cam Ward in Miami's offense. We got a lot coming up with Jacory Harris, former Miami Hurricanes great, is with the Truth Teller and I. You want to keep it locked right here, my friends. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. And I'm not done with FanDuel because we're winning money. We're having a great time this basketball season. And I hope we can continue that into the tournament. I know we can. Folks, say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament. Whether you're betting on a big upset or a one seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Just visit fanduel.com/lockedon and bet college hoops until they cut down the nets at FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the Locked On Network. Hey, guys, speaking of brackets, we got the bracket breakdown on college basketball, Locked On College Basketball. It's available now on the Locked On College Basketball podcast. Experts Andy Patton and Isaac Shade break down their brackets and discuss everything you need to know to fill out a winning bracket and prepare for this year's NCAA tournament. Find the Locked On Bracket Breakdown right now on the Locked On College Basketball podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. So Alex Donno and the Truth Teller, along with former Miami Hurricanes starting quarterback Jacory Harris. So Jacory, first of all, I'm sure you noticed this when you were out there. I think my guy, Xavier Restrepo, is just getting even better practice by practice. This guy provides a couple of highlight reel catches every single game. What's it like to have a quarterback's best friend like that? And I'm sure that's not just a Tyler Van Dyke thing. I think that's going to be a Cam Ward thing this year as well.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy, man. Xavier, no matter who's back there at quarterback, Xavier still produces.
Yep.
And that's how you know when you have a legit starting receiver. No matter who's the quarterback, he's going to be the one. He's still the main guy that gets the job done. And I like seeing that out of that kid. He's a hard worker.
Mhm.
He's not one of the guys that you're just going to say, oh, we're going to dink and dunk the ball to him. No, he out there running routes, and he's killing DBs left and right. So I like to see that. And being a quarterback, having a guy like that is going to be pretty amazing. And then you got the freshman Trader.
JoJo, he's been looking great.
JoJo, yeah, he's been looking really, really good. But number 2, these are the numbers that I seen that was standing out. It was 2, 6, 7, obviously.
Yeah.
Those are the numbers that was really like standing out, man. And I really hope, man, they allow these receivers, all these top receivers that we have, to go out there and get the job done. You got to put them on the field. it's weird being a quarterback. You look to the sideline and you got all these 5-star receivers sitting on the sideline, red shirted, or not even coming to be subbed in or out. So, I hope everything works out with that.
What's the hard part about these kids being able to play? Blocking, learning how to block? For
I
wide
think
receivers, I'm talking about.
wide
They're kids,
receiver,
but
yeah,
have
wide
they really
receiver
blocked?
wise, this is the
Yeah.
thing with wide receivers. You don't see a lot of guys do this, but if you need to learn every position as the wide receiver.
Okay.
If you know every position, you make yourself valuable. I had the opportunity to play with a guy in the CFL, Taquan Underwood. He
I
played at
remember him.
Rutgers. Yeah, he played at Rutgers, and he played at for the New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The thing that kept him around as long as he played, whether it was the NFL or CFL, was the guy knew every position. So we could be in the huddle and a guy be like, "Man, hey, I don't know this, I don't know that," and he was, instead of me having to where I'm already thinking about a bunch of stuff, I hear Taekwon, "Hey, look, right now you got to drag. Hey, if it's man to man, keep going. If it's zone, stop." And then he has to worry about what he has to do as well. And we're doing it, and up there in Canada, it's a 20-second play clock. So it's like you're doing this full speed. So I wish these younger guys really dive into the playbook and film and really understand every position that they play, because you never know when a guy goes down. You can't
Right.
be crying to the receiver coach talking about, "Oh, I only know the X or I only know Z."
Right.
Okay, then that means you only want to play that position, so you'll be fourth on the depth chart
Mhm.
behind Xavier Restrepo or something like that, instead of being the number one guy, the next guy up. So that's what I would like. Yeah, you got to block, you got to do all those things. That's what you normally do. But the mental part, that's what you got to really focus on as a receiver.
Now, when it comes to blocking, we could have that conversation with the running back room as well. That you see a lot of times when guys don't catch on as quickly, younger guys, they got to learn how to pass protect first, right?
Hmm. They do have to. That's a they're next in line behind the offensive lineman. So,
Right.
your scan protections. Make sure you're scanning. Make sure you're paying attention, because yeah, you might see defenses nowadays like to show you different looks. You're on the left side of the quarterback and they showing you blitz from the right. So now you done set your eyes that way, but then they sending it from your side and you done forgot and all that stuff. So, that is a big asset to have a running back that can block. And I will be honest, that is an unfortunate position, because you can hear it being at quarterback when you see the blitz coming and then you feel your guy go pick up that blitz and all you hear is boom. And it's like, oh man, I don't want to play that position. So the guys that could do that well, man, I feel like if you beat them in the hole, you can protect yourself even more. But if you could do that well, man, you'll last a long time.
Fascinating how these discussions aren't just about winning and losing. We're
Yeah,
talking about what they're supposed to do, and it is pretty cool because a lot of young freshmen are playing now. And you've
Yeah.
heard in the past, he doesn't play because he can't block. This
yeah,
guy's not playing because he can't block. We're afraid the quarterback's going to get killed.
yeah.
But now, they're playing even as true freshmen, a lot of these guys, because they're that good. And so here's the thing for the quarterback. This is something you could explain. The fact that our tight ends seem a lot healthier and a lot better this year, especially Arroyo. He looks really good from what I'm hearing. And Riley Williams. Now, that's a quarterback's best
And
friend.
even another one, I was at practice today, and Elija Lofton, who's the true
Yes.
freshman, he had one
Which
of the
one
best
is
catches of
which one
practice.
is number 9?
That's Lofton. That's the
Okay.
one. He had
Hey,
probably the best catch in practice today.
I seen him day one, and so I asked, I was like, "Who's number 9?" And then, some of the guys told me, and I was watching him catch. He catches like effortlessly, like it's
Yeah.
smooth. Like it's almost like you're throwing to a loaf of bread. How he catches the ball, it doesn't look like he's trying. And I would have never guessed that he was a freshman. You know, I try to follow as much as I can, but it's a lot of things that I don't get a chance to see. So when the guys are coming in, to look at some guys and not think that they're true freshmen, or to think that they're seniors, and it's like, hey, that guy's gonna play, and you like, oh nah, he's just a freshman. He might not even get on the field. Like, why not? He might be one of the best guys out here. He's a
Alex,
little.
wasn't he like 215 or 220 last year
I
in
was
high
just
school?
about. I was just about to
Yeah,
say he looked like he's a
Yeah.
little undersized,
Yeah,
but he's tough,
Right.
and he's tough. That's all you need. If you got heart, man, I don't care what size you are. Shoot, in high school, my center was doggone. My starting center was 5'11", 185, and he was the toughest guy on my offensive line.
Wow.
So you just as long as you got heart, man, you can get the job done.
Love it. But yeah, he is like he doesn't have the same sort of size, Bruce,
As
that like
Elijah,
right. Elijah Riley Williams, 6'6". Like you got some of these gigantic guys. I mean, Lofton is more of a he can line up at fullback, he can line up at tailback, and that was kind of his
yes,
thing. And he went to the same high school in Vegas, Bishop Gorman's powerhouse school where Brevin Jordan went. And like when he was down there, Jacory, when he was over there at Gorman, they always called him Mini Brevin. Like that was like his nickname. He was like the second coming of Brevin Jordan there.
Yeah, and Brevin, I don't believe Brevin. When you would look at Brevin, you didn't see like this huge tight end and all that stuff. He's a good sized kid, but he wasn't that big specimen of a tight end like a Jimmy Graham or anything.
Yeah.
So it's good to have those guys come in and as freshmen and really show that they belong, and you like to see that.
Yeah, he's got that same kind of ability that the kid that went to prison. He played with Shockey. What's his name?
Winslow. Yeah, Winslow.
Oh, Kellen Winslow.
You could line Winslow off the line of scrimmage, and he'll still beat you. He was that.
Yeah.
It's probably like that. He doesn't have to be a blocking tight end. You could just line him up anywhere. We could actually we could go with Williams, Arroyo, and this kid, and maybe one other wide receiver. And good luck stopping that. That's some big dudes running around.
And hit with his size, most people probably look at him as maybe a fullback. So now you create mismatches with linebackers where they think he a fullback and he going out there running routes against them, and they're like, hey, hold on, we got to put maybe a strong safety on this guy. Yeah. So it's gonna be a mismatch. They're gonna have the advantage when it comes to that.
Listen, I can't thank you guys enough, both, for taking the time. Jacory, let people know where they can follow you. Your social media, if you want to give that a plug, where can people find Jacory Harris?
Oh, you can find me, it's J12, but it's JTW12VE on Instagram, and 12J Harris 12 on Twitter. And also, I always got to plug my guys, man. You could definitely find me here every week at the Players Lounge Barbershop with my guy, Kane's Barber. They're always open, so just call him. He'll get you, get you the right cuts and anything. And I want to, give a shout out to my guy. He's sitting over there.
Hell yeah!
Hey,
let's flash the U for him. Throw up the U.
We get any J12 discounts? Any J12 discounts?
Yeah. Hey, first haircut is on him. It's free. Come in.
Nice.
We got you.
I hear him. Does he know about that deal? I heard him laughing in the background.
No,
I hope
it's okay. We'll take care of it. We got NIL deals over here.
I love it. And always a pleasure with Bruce Warner, who brings in the big time guest, Jacory Harris. Thanks everyone for making Locked On Canes your first and second listen today. Make sure you guys follow J12. If Bruce ever creates a Twitter, you can follow him there. You can follow our show at Locked On Canes.
What's a Twitter?
Well, it's not even Twitter anymore. It's X now.
You
can follow us on X.
My bad. It's X.
I always get that wrong too. We'll talk to everybody next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.